I'm Logan Crawford, and right now on GBN, we're bridging two worlds with a terrific author. Her name is RobinHLysne, Ph.D., and her powerful spirit guide-driven memoir is called Two Worlds, One Light, a memoir of a medium. In the book, the doctor shares her candid journey, which started with inherited intuition and seeing entities in church, and evolved into using her mediumship gifts to help others. This book is an essential guide for anyone who is curious about the energy of the world, inspiring readers to give up their fears and live their heart's calling through love. We're delighted to have this very talented author join us here today. We thank the team at Atticus Publishing for helping us put her on TV today. And we ask viewers like you to support authors like her by subscribing to our channel and by purchasing her amazing book. The links are below this interview. Doctor, and there's the book. Thank you so much for joining us here today.
Yeah, it's great to be here. Thank you.
Great to have you on the show. This is a powerful book. Talk to us a little bit about writing this book and the inspiration you had while writing it.
Yes. Well, I was inspired to write it by my guides and by people that, spirits that felt I wanted to share the information of how I got to be a medium in a professional reality. And
Mhm.
that was helpful to me to write it. It took me about 3 months to write it, and of course,
Mhm.
another year or so to edit it and so on. But what I realized is that the process that I went through as a massage therapist initially, I could see spirits and I could see guides, and eventually I went through other training to get these spirits out of people that were harming them if they were negative spirits. Sometimes people get attached to other souls and other spirits, and in certain cases that happened, and so it moved me into being a medium.
Mhm.
And I was already from a very young life. When I was a little child, I could see spirits around me all the time,
Mhm.
and guides, and I would play with them and hand them things, scissors to cut things out with me. So that was, when I was like 3 years old. And my mother was also intuitive, and so she understood what I was doing, but she was very secretive about her existence,
Mhm.
and she didn't want anybody to know she could see spirits too.
Mhm.
So she didn't encourage me necessarily, but she didn't put me into any kind of block. And she just would say, "Oh, you're seeing this? Okay, okay,"
Mhm.
and and I would tell her things like that, and then she was fine with it. So as I moved forward, I was lucky because some people are prosecuted by seeing spirits on the other side when I
Mhm.
was a child, and that wasn't my case. Um, so I had a number of things that moved me into it, and that's why I wrote this book, because I felt it was significant for other people that are also intuitive, and then people to understand intuition and how it works.
Yeah,
So
absolutely. What do you fear, what do you feel rather, is the biggest fear people have when it comes to embracing their intuition?
I think they're afraid of negative entities or spirits like a devil or unsupportive divine spirits.
Mhm.
And the reality is that when you see spirits, 90% of them are just lost on the other side. They haven't had a path to move to higher consciousness or to move to the light world. I
Mhm.
call it the light world.
Yeah.
Um, so I see that happen with people. So what I have shared with people is there are some negative spirits, demonic spirits, but that is not common, really, unless you have a lot of fear, a lot of anger, or you want someone else to kind of um, demand that you do certain things. That's a negative spirit.
Yeah.
Guides that are here for us, the holy guides, are here not to tell us how to do things. They're here for us to ask them for help.
Mhm.
That is a really big difference, and that's what I wanted to share, as well as many other things in my book. So
Absolutely. In your book, you write about the energy of the world. Explain how your book um, tells about the impact it has on all of us.
Well, the book can have an impact on people that are understanding this world as a physical body and the other side, which is right around us all over the place, and that's the spirit world. And there is a higher consciousness area of spirit of light. When someone dies and leaves their body, they're still alive in their spirits and they go on to the other side into the world of light. And so when that happens, it takes a little time for them to move over there. If they have no spirituality or no understanding, they are often wandering around in the same earth place, but they are as their spirit. And that is a ghost. And the
Mm.
ghosts are different than spirit guides who have moved over and are here to serve us now.
Do
So
you, do you feel most people have this intuition, that most people can tap into it, that most people just turn a blind eye to it? Tell us about it. Or are some people just more attuned to it?
there are a lot of people that can be attuned to it. Many people say, "Oh, I saw my father after he passed. He
Mm.
came to me in a dream, and or he came to me this way, or my mother came this way." And I said, "Good, you know that she was there." And very often when I do sessions with people, private sessions, I can check to see how their family members that have passed are and where they are. So a lot of people do understand there's this other side. However, there are also people that are very logical, that are very focused on nothing except this life.
Mhm.
And if that's the case, then they don't agree with it, or they don't see it, or they don't understand that the other world is where you continue to live after you die, after you leave your body.
Yeah.
So it's an important thing for them to know that. But if they're very logical, or if they're focused mostly on facts and whatever's grounded in the earth,
Yeah.
they won't accept it. They won't agree with it. But that's okay. That's usually, I would say, a very small percentage, maybe 10% or 20% of the population, because a lot of other people have spirituality and understand that we have two worlds, this
Mm.
world and the other world. And if you see the other side, you're in two worlds with one light.
Yeah.
Your own understanding in your own memoir.
Do
Yes.
you feel that most people experience that other world, that second world, through their dreams?
Yes, a lot of
Mm.
people do experience it in their dreams. They have a profound dream often after the death of a
Mm.
relative.
Yeah. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
you hear that a lot. I know I did. Dreamt very, very vividly about my mother and father, and had conversations with them after they passed in my dreams.
Yeah.
And it felt very real. It felt very comforting.
Mhm.
So, I don't discount it at all. I feel it is very, very real. You started seeing spirits and entities as a child, as you mentioned, starting at 3 years old. You talked to your mother about these. She helped explain them to you. Tell us a little bit about that part of it.
Well, the first time that I had a group of six entities, six spirits with me as I was
Mm.
cutting dolls out and cutting
Yeah.
things out and drawing things. And I was talking to them just like they were right there. And she said, "Who are you talking to?" And I said, "Oh, these are my friends. They're all my friends. They're three couples that are here to help me, and they're my guides." I would say they're my guides. At that time, I don't think guides was a common thing to understand, but they're here to help me. That's what I
Mm.
told. And then she acknowledged it, and I think she went into her eyes, closed her eyes, and
Mm.
looked at her third eye, which is here,
Mm.
which is our perception sometimes. And she did kind of look at it, and I think she could see them there as or feel them. So, but I was talking to them like, "Hi, you like
Yeah.
this? Oh, here, I'll cut it out for you."
Yeah. That's amazing. It's amazing. Talk to us about your book, how it's structured, what people will find when they open it up.
Well, my memoir starts with a ceremony that I did at a friend's house, a person's house, not a friend really, but someone hired me to come and clear out a ghost at their house.
Hmm.
They lived in this house, and that's the beginning of the book. And I talk about how I cleared it out, and then I go back into how I first started understanding that I could help others on the other side as well as here. And I found my grandfather. And so I talk about my grandfather, who we all went to visit, and he died that day. And that night, I was the only one that could stay with him or stay
Hmm.
with my grandmother. And so I stayed with her and slept outside in the living room. And um, he came in and woke me up and said, "What am I here to do? What am I supposed to
Hmm.
do?" And I had a very natural understanding that his spirit was there. So that's the next part of what I talk about and how I helped him move across the other side. And then I just knew what I was supposed to do. I didn't have any assumptions. It was just like, Grandpa, you just need to see your other relatives. They're all over there and they're waiting for you. And
Hmm.
then I took care of my grandmother that night, every time she needed some support. And then in the morning, all my family came in and my mother was there. And I said, "Mom, I said, I saw Grandpa last night and this is what I did." And she said, "Oh, that's really nice, dear." She said, "Don't tell your father." No, he's very upset and he's not going to want to know about it. So I said, "Okay, I won't. I just tell it to you, and that's it."
Hmm.
But what I realized is I could help spirits that are on the other side, especially relatives of mine.
Hmm.
And I did help him, and it was wonderful to be part of it. Yeah.
Amazing, amazing. What do you hope readers take away from your book? What do you hope they benefit from?
I hope that they understand that the lives of our spirits continue to live to another life if we need to. And the other thing is to know that we have it all around us. It's not just up there, it's
Hmm.
around us. And if we need to connect or talk to other spirits, we can. If we can even write it down or say what we need. We also understand with this process and with this book that I was just 23 when that happened with my grandfather. It was the first time I experienced someone dying in my family, and
Hmm.
that was a lucky time, to have him that long. But what I understood after that was I need to do something more with this, and I'm not sure how to get there. And it
Yeah.
took another 10 years before I saw other spirits. And they helped me to say, you need to get into this. And so that's when I started massage therapy. I was a curator at that time doing art and so on in Michigan. And
Hmm.
then I moved out here, and what's important about it was it took me years to get to the place where I could work. It took me about 10 years before I could get into intuition as a profession. And it took a lot of classes and other things. So it gives people an understanding that sometimes it takes time. And that's why I want to be sure that people understood that. And it's okay to take time because that's part of what you're here to do.
Yeah.
And it's part of your job as a person here when you're in,
Wonderful.
when you're
Yeah.
inspired.
Yeah, absolutely. It's part of the journey, no doubt. Now, you have another book, right? Tell us about that one.
Oh, I have 12 books
12
totally.
books. Okay. You hold the ball of them. No, I'm teasing.
But this book is called The Mother of Us All.
Mhm.
Blind Mother Speaks a Way Forward. It also got an International Impact Book Award last year.
Wow.
The book is a channeled book that I have written that is about Divine Mother and how do we connect with her? What's the significance of it? How can we move forward with her? And how can we serve her? Because she's Mother Nature, she's part of the sky, the dark sky at night. There's many different elements of Divine Mother in many different spiritualities, Native American, East Indian. I mean, all kinds of different spiritualities have Divine Mother as part of their spirituality. And I've gone to many different places to learn that. But what I really love about her, I've channeled her for over 20 years.
Mm.
And so many of the chapters in this are about different sections that she talks about, as well as how I got to write this book and how I got into it and how she asked me to help of the situation. So the book really speaks a lot about the earth right now and how we need to take care of nature in a very big different way than we do now.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that book sounds terrific. The book we've been focusing on today is absolutely terrific. It is called Two Worlds, One Light, a Memoir of a Medium. It is a powerful and candid memoir written by the doctor in which she shares her lifelong journey of mediumship and using spirit guide driven intuition to help others. Doctor, thank you so much for joining us here today.
My pleasure. It's great to see you.
Great to see you. I appreciate your time, your insight, and the wonderful work you've done on all of your books. To the folks at home, I'm Logan Crawford for the Global Book Network. So long for now.